We are recording this session, and I'm doing that for a couple reasons. One, because if you want to review some of the things that we're going over, I'll just make it available to you. And two, because I'm always trying to improve the quality and content, because like Alex and I were just talking about, there are definitely opportunities to get the word out about some of these tools that are available, especially the ones that are free, for goodness sake.
Yes.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. So that's what we're all about, and I'm just going to jump right in. And then, this is participatory, not just me talking. So we're going to get into it. As you can see the agenda there, we're going to look at Google AI for students.
Yes.
We're going to look at things that students and teachers can use together, and then also teacher tools like Google Classroom and some of those AI features that have been built into that. It's really awesome is, Google has been in innovating, I guess that's the word, innovating with AI for many years. And AI is nothing new. That's another thing that Alex and I were just talking about. It's not just ChatGPT when AI was on the scene. That's just when everybody started talking about it. But the AI age starts in the 50s. And Google, because of their resources, they've been innovating with different AIs, but a lot of them are not the generative AI like you would think with where you can create something new, but they're machine language, like we were just discussing translation. And that's one of the most amazing Google machine language, AI tools is Google Translate, and how it was just revolutionary when it started, and how I don't know if you've used it over time, but how I've seen it improve, because it's always learning. That's just
Absolutely.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go just mention FigJam, because one of the things I wanted to do with this session is just encourage you to check some things out. I know we're not gonna have time to go too deep into all of these things, but FigJam is a wonderful new product to the Google Workspace environment, and it's unique because it's not a Google product, but it's taking the place of Google Jamboard. You might have seen or used Google Jamboard, which was just a really cool whiteboarding tool that was specially designed to let teachers and students interact in this whiteboard environment. And it really took on its own during the COVID time when everybody was remote. But this year, by October, Jamboard is going away. It's one of those products that is just going to be finished. But they're recommending FigJam. FigJam, I'm just going to click here and show you what I mean in terms of its relationship to teachers, students, and AI. What FigJam has done is, because this is not their flagship product, but this is an education product that they're offering for free, they've put a lot of their development into creating a tool here. I'm going to just continue with Google.
Yes.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to keep sharing this here. Are you seeing my screen? Yes. No. Yeah. Let me share this tab. There we go.
Yes.
So Google Meet is telling me I need to share this screen, and here I am. So this is FigJam, and you see it's just an open space. But the cool thing is, if I wanted to create something new, at least looks like I need to sign in. Just a second. It has some AI tools that helps me create content in a flash, just like that. And I imagine, I haven't tried this with student accounts, but imagine if you were like a secondary teacher and you wanted your students to create some planning boards or do some collaborating and get some ideas going, maybe a brainstorming session. What I can do here is maybe I can just encourage my students to do that. So if I click on the little magic stars here, generate, and then I say planning board for a short film about dogs, and then just click generate. Let's see how smart it is here. Remember, this is not a Google product, but it's a free product that Google is recommending to take the place of. Now look at that. That is just amazing.
Oh, fabulous.
That I'm wow. I'm going to come back and try to play with that some other time. That's just amazing. So I'm going to stop share. I'll share this tab instead. Fig Jam. So that was just in the way of introduction. One of the things that's stressful in a time like we're in is just keeping track of what's new and what to spend a little bit more time in. And take it from me, this one here is a gem. So, I really like the fact that it's absolutely and completely free. There's no special trial accounts or anything like that.
So,
okay,
Mr. Mark.
Yes, ma'am.
So this tool, it just helps you to create organizers for your thoughts with a particular goal. That's what it does, right?
Sure.
It could be anything. Yeah. It could be an essay. It could be a research paper. It could be a plan to study a unit or something. It could be for anything, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's really wide open, and it's also excellent for collaboration, either in small groups, with teams, or in a whole class. So if the teacher has a whiteboard and they're going to start working on a lesson, they could have it filled out ahead of time, or they could use it like an advanced organizer and have some of the things blank. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Okay. I teach online all my classes every day. I don't teach. I'm not I'm a certificated employee, but I'm more like a educational coach. So I have appointments with the students, and we review their academic progress. So this is an easy way for me individually this is where you are, and with a graphic organizer said, this is where you need to be.
Yeah, that might be something to try. Definitely. You could share it with the student privately, and they could add notes. The cool thing with Fig Jam, you can add images, video. It is, it's really cool.
Can we save things, or it's a one-time thing and it's gone? Can we save it? And what kind of format to save?
It saves automatically in your Google Drive.
Mark, is it shareable? Is it shareable? Say I'm meeting with 8 people and we're going over this problem of practice, and we have some things listed. Is it shareable?
Definitely. Like live collaboration. It's basically a canvas, right? So you can design it to do whatever. The only thing that I would say is if you're working with younger students, which doesn't seem like you are, but I would say, for teachers that are in middle school and below, it might have too much complexity, too many options. But if I was a teacher, if I was coaching a teacher, I would say, you have younger students, then you just use it like this. You just create a really simple whiteboard that you're going to do some collaborating on, and keep it like that.
But what if you had the kids break up into groups of 5 using their own Fig Jam board, and then come up with a presentation, and they can each come up, do their presentation from the group of 5?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would be a really nice alternative to slides, because it gets a little old and boring if you're just doing Google slide projects all the time. Come on, teacher, give me something new,
Yeah.
Or you could give them the option. Okay, let's talk about Gemini for a second. So have either of you used any of the new generative AI tools?
I went on last night and checked out Gemini, and I asked a few questions, and that's where it gave me Grammarly. I asked for some really cool educational slides. I'm tired of seeing the same PowerPoint stuff, so it gave me some really different stuff. And so, and free, and if you ask for free, so it was a great resource. And I just had a whole bunch of other questions, but I didn't have time. But I think it's a great resource.
Nice, yeah, and I think Gemini for regular consumer accounts, like a personal account, is free.
Yeah.
And then now if you want to use it with your work account, then just try it. But if it's not enabled, you can check with your IT administrator.
How much is the premium? I know it asks you for the premium.
Yeah, I think
they said they give educator discounts.
Yeah, I don't know the actual cost. I know that what Google did was they rapidly iterated, and they had Bard, which was right after ChatGPT came out, and then Microsoft got in the game. Google's like Bard, and Bard was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
but then like less than a year, they rebranded to Gemini.
Yeah, that's right.
And then what they did at first was you could sign up for free to be a tester, but then boom, that window closed, and now what you do is if you're using a personal account, you sign up for a Google Workspace subscription, and then that's Pro, and then it's wrapped into that. So it's Gemini for the search engine, or not the search engine, but the prompt, and it also Gemini in Workspace. We're going to look at a little bit of that.
Yeah, when I asked it, the question was I wanted to help kids write in high school. I narrowed it down to like English language learners, and it sent me right to Grammarly, and I did some things with Grammarly that the kids would normally write, and it seemed to be really user friendly for the kids. But like I said, that Grammarly would probably need a translator though if it was going to help with English language learners.
Right. So let's just well, first of all, before I go any further, because of all this account issue, like I was just talking about, I have a provisions test account that you can use. And this one has Google Gemini, and it has it's enabled for the rest of the day. That means you can use the Google Gemini in Workspace. I think the Google Gemini will work, the regular one after that. And these accounts are demo accounts. If you want to, continue to try it, just let me know and I'll set up another one. But it's basically the password is Go Google 1.
Okay.
And where you see the number sign, you just put in a number between 2 and I think it's 10. So Alex, why don't you use 3? So it'd be 24243.
Okay.
And it'll take you through. So what you do is you want me to show you how that works, Veronica?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So no problem. I'm just going to open up a different tab, and I'll show you how I would do it. I would actually, in your browser, you can't see it over on what I'm sharing, but very top right, there's 3 dots, and that's where I go to open a incognito window. So I'm gonna do it that way. So let me open that and I'll share. That's just my incognito tab. On this tab, I'm just gonna go to google.com. You see I'm not logged in yet.
Okay.
And so you see where it says sign in? Well, I'm gonna use this special demo account. So I'm gonna sign in there. And
I'm in.
Oh, you got in. Awesome.
But I have to give an email.
Okay, so you're where I am. So here's what we're gonna do. No problem. I'm gonna type mine in, and I'm gonna show you how to type yours in. So here's what we're gonna type in. Just a second. I'm gonna go GWE 2424, and I'm gonna use 5. But Veronica, why don't you use 4 for that last digit? And then it's going to be at demogfe.com. And then I just click next. And the password is that.
I put the 3 after the 4 then. Okay, good. Because I was putting 2423, but you're saying put the 24.
24243.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's my.
Okay, let me see.
So the password is Go Google number 1.
Okay.
Why do you have to go through the incognito all the time?
Well, it just helps your browser not remember this login. when you use the regular login, then you're going to create a new profile that's saved in your Chrome profiles.
Oh, okay. Especially if we're using a school computer or something.
Yeah, I for some reason it's demo GED.
GFE. Demo GFE. George Frederick Edward. There you go.
Okay. It's not letting me use the two. Let me see. I think I know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it went in.
Awesome.
This says this account is not allowed within, allowed to sign in within this network. So
okay.
I don't have the permission.
Oh, you're at school, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to give you.
I will do it from home.
Yeah. I shared the presentation with you that has this account stuff, so you'll be fine. So I'm on my login with that new account. I'm just going to go to my browser and go gemini.google.com.
Okay.
And you see, I get this introduction screen. This is what you'll see the first time.
Okay.
Chat with Gemini. It's going to ask me to, make sure I'm agreeing to the terms.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to remember my history and all that jazz. Continue.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'm in. All right, let's prompt. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a prompt that comes to mind. And remember, when we're using generative AI, we never know for sure what we're gonna get, and sometimes the answers are inaccurate.
Right.
We're gonna use it at our own risk. I'm gonna try it with the microphone. It's gonna ask me to allow. Provide some reasons that teacher. Oh, I gotta click again. Provide a list. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna start over. Yeah, so it's giving me an answer on the word provide. That's not helpful. Okay, let me just type it in. Provide a list of reasons that teachers are worried about student use of AI in the classroom. Let's see what Gemini has to say about AI. Absolutely. Here's a list of the main reasons teachers are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Plagiarism,
yeah,
critical thinking, loss of originality, exacerbating equity gaps.
No.
So let's do a second prompt to this one, to the results. Is there a suggestion? I know Alex had talked about translating, but maybe I can do that in a couple ways. How about this? Great. Translate this into Spanish and provide a summary description that I can use in social media.
Oh my God.
Including hashtags. I don't know. I'm just trying to create here.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Preocupaciones de los profesores.
But in Spanish.
Okay.
No, that doesn't look good.
You got to tell it to do it in English.
Not a good translation.
No, it's kind of sloppy, isn't it?
Yeah, Google Translate is not good. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Now, revise that to simply English, please.
Do you know that you are thinking and saying please to a machine? I mean,
yeah,
aware of it?
Yeah. But in my experience, it's funny, Veronica. It's funny, but it helps set the tone for the interaction with the AI, even though I know it's not human. What I'm doing is I'm cueing it to stay in a cordial, friendly mode. Okay, so and then you see it's giving it to me back. Absolutely. Here's a simplified English version, and then there's this simple social media summary.
I allow the AI. It's impossible to fight it, and I don't intend to. So when a student submits a document or a presentation or whatever, that is very obvious to me that it was not produced by that person.
Yeah.
My response is, well, now that you have done your research and you know how it looks like, now you can create your own, and that's what you need to resubmit for final grade. You have 2 days. That's it.
Very good. Good for you.
So I don't discharge that information. I think it helps them, but they still have to create their own.
I love
it. They haven't learned to talk to the machine. So I'm glad they are not watching right now, because they can say, give me an essay about blah, blah, blah that reflects 7th grade level English. I know this is what you can do, but they don't.
Yeah. Right. How about you write your own prompt and include your essay in the prompt and ask it to give you some comments about how you can improve it. Right. Come on.
Most schools already have, the turnitin.com too, so that you can run it through there and it'll tell you that someone else wrote it. And the kids are aware of it too.
Yep. Well, okay, so we're going to shift gears for just a minute, because we know that using generative AI can just, how it sucks us in, right? We're like, oh my gosh, I got to try this. But there are classic tools, like I mentioned earlier, that are really already here and already free. Now, with a caveat, Google Workspace for Education is now offered, and has been for 3 or 4 years or so at least, in different versions. It used to be all free, right? But now there are different versions, and some of the features that I may be mentioning are not free or in all the versions. Does that make sense? So just keep that in mind, because you might run across somebody that says, well, I didn't know it could do live translation. Well, yeah, it doesn't, because you don't have the teaching and learning upgrade or whatnot. So, okay, well, this is, for example, with AI in Google Meet, we have live translated captions. So I'm going to bring my window over here.
Yeah.
And share my, go ahead.
I've turned yours on. Yeah, I had yours on. You were.
Okay, good. So you turned the captions on?
Yeah, very accurate.
Yeah, very good. And it's live, and it's going to be live for the student in whatever language they need translated. Or if you're having a meeting with parents, and you can think about the time you could save if you can trust that those translations are there. And even if you're just using those translations as support, you're still providing live oral translation. That's fine. Then those people that are in English, they can listen to the captions in English and have it translated in English. I guess you could do that.
You change it to Spanish right now if you wanted to.
Okay, so yeah, let's play with this just a minute. So am I sharing my Meet? You're here. You're seeing my Meet session.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to turn captions on here, and when I do, it's going to start captioning. But you see, if I click on English in the gear over here, then I can pick the language of the meeting. That's the language of the meeting.
For Chinese Mandarin.
Oh, you're translating to
Chinese Mandarin, which is very interesting, because first of all, I don't know Chinese except a couple words, but the point is that is translating into a 32-bit language, and so that is kind of like it's fascinating how far they have gone.
It really is, and I really appreciate the dedication and development time that's gone into making these features that are at the first not real visible, but when you consider how it's helping people access each other and content, it's just it's absolutely phenomenal.
Mark, I didn't see where you made the language change.
Okay, let me show you. Yeah, so once you have the the captions enabled, it's going to change your screen, and you're going to see that at the lower section. Then you have this little pop-up gizmo by the gear icon, And
I saw it. Yeah.
once I have 2 languages going, it's going to give me the option to switch back and forth. And I can also click back on there and do other settings. Like if the language of the meeting changed, I can change the language it should try to translate from.
But some of the languages are still in beta.
Yeah.
They are not ready.
Well, they're ready. They just need more testing before they can sign off that it's accurate enough.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's
really fascinating.
Yeah. Hey, check this out. It's also because we're recording this meeting, it's creating a transcript, and that transcript will be available in languages that people select when they listen to it.
Turn your captions on again, Mark. Turn your captions on again because I changed the language.
Okay. I'm going to turn my captions on again. It's down in the bottom. There's a CC button. That turns them off. And then turn it back on. And remember, my settings don't affect anybody else.
Right.
So now there are systems that, like if you're doing a live presentation, you can force the captions to be, like a YouTube stream or something. But we're using Meet here more like you would for a classroom or a school meeting. And people can just have the choice to use the captions or not. Okay.
This is fantastic. I just find it fabulous that people are able to do it.
A couple of things quickly on settings that use AI is I went to the 3-dot settings and then the gear icon for settings. And there we go. So you see I have some video settings. No, that's not the one.
I don't see what you are showing.
Oh, okay. It's a pop-up, so it's not pulling up. Let me just say there are some other embedded AI tools that are enhance the user experience. They have some pretty fun avatars, and so if you have younger students or you're trying to get the students to engage, they can be an animal or they can be a character.
Okay, got it.
And those are built in. That's pretty fun.
Those are very dangerous when you are working with high schoolers. You know that.
I know that. I know exactly. Yeah, it's special cases that you might need to use those. Plus, you have these response emojis that are, once you start using them, you start to see that they're animated and they.
Oh Lord, no.
Yeah, it can get kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move this back over here.
I just have a question.
Sure. What's up?
The 2 things you mentioned before, the Fig Jam and the Ask Gemini. So these are shareable things. And when we share them, excuse me, the other person has to have also the free version of the software, or how is it going to make it shareable?
Oh, good point. Excellent. So if in regards to Fig Jam, I had mentioned, that it's free. So what would be best is that you have the app approved with your district's IT so that it can be enabled in Google Workspace. And in other words, they can turn it on so that it's fully accessible.
Okay.
And they can just check to make sure that it's meeting all the FERPA and COPPA and privacy policies.
Yes.
And then because I'm sure they're FERPA compliant, but that way the students can use their accounts. Okay. But yes, to answer your question, it's free, and so you can use it as a personal educator or officially with your school account. So
Are there any ads? Are there any ads on Fig Jam?
No. So the Figma is a company that has this very successful product, and they just decided to support education, and so they have this whole division that's just they don't charge for it.
Okay. Now at the school districts where I work at, they usually have their own. For example, in LA, they have Schoology, so all their apps are uploaded into Schoology, and so that's where they would access it then, right? From there.
Yeah. I'm sure they probably have a a plugin or an LTI or API for Schoology that would work with that. Awesome. Well, this is fantastic. We're covering a lot of ground. Just going to mention a few things about students that these tools, and we'll get to read along when we look at the inside of Google Classroom. But we already mentioned translation tools, and those are freely available for students with their school Google accounts. And I'm sure there's not restrictions on that. And yeah, it's not perfect, but those translation tools can really help, students that need that support. And then there's Read Along by Google. Read Along is a product that they have brought into Google Classroom, but it's also available outside of Google Classroom. It's just readalong.google.com. And it's basically a library of books that are leveled for different reading levels, lexiles, and it listens to the student as they read and gives them feedback. It's really cool. And so we'll take a look at that in Google Classroom. And there's a link there if you want to read more. And of course, there's a host of extensions like Grammarly. Alex was mentioning Grammarly, and it was a coincidence. It's the one I had mentioned here. But by a host, I mean a quadzillion apps that are available through Google Workspace, the web store. So, for example, if I go here to Grammarly.
Yeah, I added it to Word, Microsoft Word. I added it to my emails so that, and it gets kind of annoying, but you can turn it off too if you want. You don't want to use it. But yeah, it makes it a lot easier instead of going back and forth, having those
It's true. And it can be very helpful, but it also, it also might not be one of the approved apps for a particular school. So maybe they have another extension and they don't want to have different competing products out in the students' browsers, and also some of them, many of them, we know they offer free, but then they will start they'll start advertising or promoting that have the teachers pay for things, or they'll do advertising. Well, we don't necessarily want that. So I think each one, would need to be evaluated. But the nice thing about the way that Google Chrome works in connection with your Google account is it can be managed by the administrators at the district,
Yeah, because I think that Grammarly keeps asking you to buy the premium all the time. So if the kids are using it, they could, I don't know how that would work if they keep clicking it to get the premium. So they have to shut it down.
So we have to watch out for our students and our families, that we're not loading them down with unnecessary bait and switch type applications. But if we evaluate that something is a good resource and we want them to have access to it, then by all means, let's get it out there. Okay, practice sets.
Yes, please.
Okay, practice sets is part of Google Classroom, and it's in the teaching and learning upgrade. In those accounts that I provided you, there'll be a chance to try practice sets, and I've already logged in with one.
Okay.
So I want to show you a little bit about that, okay? And this is, I'm going to go back here. I am in Google Classroom, and let me just go back to the beginning. Classroom.google.com. I'm just checking the time. I think we're doing okay. So in this demo account, I have a whole bunch of different classrooms, and I'm going to try the environmental science one here. And so in a normal Google Classroom, it's like a miniature LMS, right?
I cannot see you.
Oh, okay, thank you. I see. Let me share this better. Just a second. Is it something else?
While you're doing this, I'm following your Spanish down here, and it's very accurate. I mean, there's with the exception of some of the technical terms, it's really weird. Everything else is pretty much good. Even the accent marks are coming through.
Nice. That's great. Well, that's fantastic. So here I am in Google Classroom.
Okay.
And normally when a teacher has Google Classroom, they can go to a classwork and make an assignment. But what Google has done is, through a lot of input, they determined that, hey, we should make teachers' jobs easier. And so they did that with this create here. Now, when I create an assignment, I have some new options. Instead of just upload a file or, create a Google Doc assignment the way that it was in the good old days, I have a bunch of add-ons over here. These are other apps that work with Google Workspace. But I also have these special ones, the ones here that say new. So let's look at practice sets first.
Yes.
I'm going to click a new practice set. And so it's going to open that up, and I'm going to get to tinker with it and make an assignment. I see down here are some practice sets that I've already made. I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to go click
and
new.
Is it standard for all Google Classrooms?
One more time.
Is this an option? Because I don't see those tools available to
Right. It's only with the top 2 versions of the Workspace. The additions are Teaching and Learning Upgrade, and there's one called Education Plus.
Okay.
So you have to where do you get those in?
So those are a subscription that the district applies for. I think they're $4 per student per year or $5 per student per year.
How about for the teacher? How about for us? What would we be paying?
The teachers, when the way they do the pricing is the teacher accounts are included. They just count the students that are going to be covered, and they include the teacher accounts in that.
So we would be using Google Workspace Plus, or what was the other one?
Google Workspace Teaching and Learning Upgrade.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the cases that I know about. Now there are options too. Like, let's say a district wanted to try these features out. I think that Google gives a certain number of the upgrades for free.
Okay.
Because they want people to experience them. So this is basically a real simple process. It is a bit time consuming at first, but I think once a teacher had a routine set up, it would probably be pretty simple. Let's just do a quick one here.
You don't have a bank of questions?
Eventually you'll develop banks of questions, and you can upload forms. Like, it'll convert PDFs into test questions.
Okay.
Other kinds of things too. Okay, answer 1. And then enter the correct answer. The answer is 1. And skills. So let's see. What I can do here is start typing in a standard. English. So it's going to pull from this database of different standards. And I'm just going to pick one here.
Sure.
And I can add some resources that are based on that standard. So it's using AI to make my job a little easier. We're going to click a video here. Oh, they were already added. So, okay, I don't even need to check them, but I can see here, I can check the videos that it's suggesting. And then I can add some more. Okay, so I'm going to say extra help. And here's where I can add extra resources for the students. Like, if they're getting wrong answers, then I can give them a little extra support. I think they just bring that in there. Oh, I'm going to say try as a student. And that way I can just take a quick look at it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I can try it out. Takes a second to load. Okay, so I know the answer was 1, but I'm going to give it a wrong answer and see what it does. Check. Yeah, it just says try again. Let's see. Give it the right answer and enter. Yeah, it should be a little alarm. And it gives me confetti.
Oh, my Lord.
How about the show your work? What does that do? Show your work if you had.
Yeah, let's do that on one of the other ones I have made up here.
It's probably an equation, probably. And
yeah, it's got a math editor.
yeah,
it's pretty cool. let's see here. Let's go to order of operations. This is one that I had done earlier.
Oh, good. Okay.
This one here, try as a student.
Sure.
And let's see here. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing fine. Loading practice set. All right, so I'm going to just click 77, and I'm going to click show your work. So here I can just do by hand 20. Oh, I can do it here, 23. If I use the pen, I think I can just use my mouse.
Yes, correct.
25.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not letting me do that, but I guess maybe I don't have the right settings. But let's just put in a couple answers here and check. Checking. Oh, I got the right answer. And this time it gives me a slightly different animation with the same confetti.
So let's say you choose the 75. I think that's what Alex wants to see. So it has to show you the steps, correct? Where you have the button for show your work, it has to show you some feedback in terms of how to start it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that with the same question, and let's see what happens if I choose the wrong answer. You know, I'm in the Google Trainer group. You know, internationally, there's like thousands of us. And I don't see them talking about practice sets that much. And I don't know if that's because there's not that many people using it.
Try again.
They maybe don't know. They maybe don't know it. Oh, good. Now show your work. Yes.
So I think this practice set maybe doesn't have the assistance tied into it. Let's go real quick and then check one of the other practice sets here.
Now, let me ask you, when you have those practice tests, they give you the final point. So I mean, how do you know the student got all the questions correct? Do you get a final report? You have a grade? You have a set of points for each question? I mean, how do you know the results?
I'll show you that. I'll show you the data, the way that the teachers see the data.
Thank you.
Good question. Good question. Yeah, because what's the point unless there's some way to...
Well, I'm trying to see if I can just put my questions and have it graded for me rather than, I don't do that anymore, but some teachers would like to do that.
Sure. So I'm going to check this first one and see what it does. Checking. Okay, so I see the little light bulb, show a hint.
Right.
And here's a great resource.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's just a link to a video. Awesome. Okay, so before I go back and I'll show you what I have in the slides for that data piece, I want to show you a couple of these other workspace Google Classroom features. And that was what I mentioned earlier. That is read along.
Yes.
So read along. I was playing with this earlier and I don't know what I think about it, but I think if it can help kids read, I'm all for it, right? So I'm going to go to a low Lexile level, and I'm going to do egg, this first one.
And
so
this is free?
This is part of the Teaching and Learning Upgrade and Plus.
Okay.
So it's not free. So I'm going to attach the story. No, I'm going to try it as a student because I don't need to put it in an assignment.
So this is not something that parents can have in their personal computers to aid their children to learn to read better and not wait until they go to school to do that.
Right. Well, they could if they're if they have their student account and they're logging in on a device at home.
Oh.
This would basically be in an assignment in Google Classroom. So the teacher could give it as homework if they wanted them to do some reading practice.
Okay.
So let's just do a quick example. And can you hear that?
No. No.
Okay. I want you to be able to hear the voice because it sounds. A second. I'm going to share that tab. It only lets me share audio when I share a tab. Read along. Sorry about that. Just a second.
Some of these tools, the district has to purchase them. So
yes.
that's okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I don't think, I don't know, but for sure, but I don't think that they'd have to purchase the upgrade for every student.
It's just the teacher.
No, it would just be, I think that Google allows for the district to have some students on the basic and other students on the more expensive versions. Like say that they needed a Google account for Gmail in the basics, but they didn't need Google Classroom and all these special features because they were using something else. Maybe they would allow for that differentiation in the pricing. I don't know for sure, but I think that's how they do it. This isn't letting me share the audio. Let me see one more time. You might have to take my word for it and try it with your account.
Well.
Okay, so let me just share my entire screen. Okay, so not my egg. So she's saying, great reading. That was fast. My egg. So every time I finish a line, she says something positive. Not me, egg. So that time I mispronounced it, and she said, continue reading. Instead of great job, she toned it down a little bit. So that's basically what it does, and it keeps track of all these stars.
Yeah, well, that's how you are going to build it in AI. You need to see how people respond.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, you know, like I said, it's probably not for everybody, but if it can help kids read, I'm all for it. You know, I'm really excited about that. Then looking at the time, I want to mention a couple things before I let you go.
Please.
And that is, there is a practice sets demo here. If it's on slide 7.
Gotcha.
It's in the notes. So if you go to that, let me open it up and show you. It has a lot more detail about Google practice sets. And this is the official slide deck from Google. It also has a description of what the teacher sees with the data.
I don't see the notes.
Okay. Let me share the link with you directly.
I find the Google slide 7, but I don't see your notes.
Okay. I'll share the link for this particular one in the chat so you can view that.
Okay.
And it's you know, it's got a lot of detail. That itself is an hour presentation. But I'm going to just put that here. Okay, that's good. So that's that. I think that the details on the data is down here a little further, like on slide 16. I think that's it. Yeah, it's called the teacher dashboard.
Okay.
Okay, so we've covered a lot, and I know it's been like a tidal wave. We've just scratched the surface.
Yes.
There are.
Thank you.
There are another set of resources that I have for you. If you go to this towards the end here, I have some guides that are on slide 11 on some of these built-in AI features like voice typing.
There's wow. Okay, I have a question about that.
Yes, ma'am.
You can hear my accent. So what I find that AI has not collected enough, which is very difficult, is to understand accents in a foreign language. Or for me, English is a foreign language. So that is one of the challenge, and this is an old problem in software with voice recognition. Right. So have they done that? Have you been able to do that?
I think it's getting better, yes. And I haven't tested that a lot, but what I have done, Veronica, is I've done the Google voice typing, and I've told it a different language, and I've spoken Spanish to it, and it did a pretty good job. And then I translated that back to English.
Okay. Oh,
so that might be worthy of trying, and that might be a way for us to support language learners. If they're stuck writing, then gosh darn it, go for it,
absolutely.
Give it a try. Then there's a resource page somewheres. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll find it and I'll send an email to you,
please,
and to Alex, just follow up for our time today. I'll include the link to the video and these other resources that I was talking about. But I want to thank you for coming in today. I know you've had a busy day. Alex is back. Alex, I want to say thanks for joining today. And
I cut myself off accidentally. They're trying to
no problem.
That Google Meets there. Let me
no
just
problem.
make sure I download it in the chat. Yeah, great.
I'm going to send an email to you both with the link to the video. I'll link the slides again and some of the other resources.
Can you just send information about other higher level training like this? Do you have it?
Yes, definitely. Okay. Definitely. I have a course that is level 1 certification in Google Workspace.
Okay, would you send it to me?
Yeah, I'll send you that link, and that starts on May 6th. It's a self-paced, about 12 hours of practice, and that gets people ready for their certification. So I'll send you that and some of the other stuff that's happening.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
All right, you guys.
So we have to do the evaluation?
Yes, I would appreciate it if you would.
No.
Yeah, I'll give you big money. Big money.
Okay.
The evaluation link is in the last slide.
Okay.
But I'll put it in the email too.
Yeah, I'll get it done that way.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Great.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You bet. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Also send reverse side.